Sorry if my mic sounds a little worse. If you didn't see any notifications on my Discord, my cat ate through the wires on my nice Razer headphones, so now I've got to use these old Switch Turtle Beaches, and the mic quality isn't as great, but I will try to compensate for that and speak a little closer to the microphone, but you might catch some of my S's and T's with a little bit more oomph, unfortunately. And I'm also a little groggy, so there's that. Yay. But today we've got a little bit of a treat. I have some new NIFs that I've made for space stations for Starfield, and if I can remember what I was doing in my file browser before I opened it up. Oh, that's right, I'm going to copy the NIFs over and get that all set up. And the new textures that I have for some of these structures. We've got a few really nice things today. Technically, Gamma Station is mostly ready. I just don't have a whole lot of window spaces cut out for it yet. And then I want to add more detailing to it. But it's coming along pretty nicely. We've got a few other structures and things that do look pretty nice. And let me get those things all set up and ready. Just need to do the textures. Let's see here. I'd show you what I'm doing, but I'm literally just I'm in the file browser right now, moving shit around. And that is, believe it or not, less entertaining than looking at all these lovely screenshots. So, let me finish this up. Shouldn't take like a couple minutes. If I can remember my bearings. Textures output, that's what it is. Okay. Space beacon, I did those. I want to say it's this frigate stuff. So I'll put those here. And then what does this look like? Oh, that's right, because it does it all through GIMP for some reason, so it's going to take 1,000 years to load. Okay. Okay. Excuse me. I think I have these already set up. Okay, yeah, that's literally nothing. No. Satellite. It says I don't, so I'm gonna go ahead and copy all this stuff over just in case I need it. But I don't think I do. But better I have it in here. What's this M70? I know that's a mission related. I don't think that was one of the ones that I was working on. I think that's one for buildings. Frigate, ship decals, window holder, window trim, vent. Okay, I think that's everything for now. For those? Okay, that should be it. I'll have to make materials for them, but I can open up a creation kit real quick, and then we'll get this going along. Yeah, sorry, you also might catch my breathing. This is just until I can get a little bit of a better mic. Sorry, y'all. Everyone thank my lovely cat, Artemis, for doing what cats do. The exact thing you want them not to do. Even though he has plenty of toys. He decides to go and fuck with the one thing I really didn't need him to mess with. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and switch over to getting this loaded in. Okay, we'll do that and make these really quickly, and then we can plug them in. And I don't even need to load anything in order to make these in Material Editor, which is good, because this is already going to take an amount of time that I wish it wouldn't. The joys of working with the creation kit. Let's okay. Sorry about that. Had to clean off the lovely little hairs that are all over the damn fuzzball thing on the end of this mic. Boy. I don't know why this is taking so damn long. Probably because I'm streaming on OBS. That's probably what it is. This program is so damn sensitive all the time. I want to move over to OBS to turn on the music, but if I do that, it's gonna crash out. It probably not won't crash out. It'll probably just take even longer to load. So I'm just gonna leave it alone till it loads in. But if it takes too much longer, like a few more minutes, then I'm gonna close it out, turn on the stuff on OBS, the music, and then I'll load Starfield first, close that out, and then load the creation kit, because that usually solves it. I'll give it like one more minute, because I don't have all day. I ain't doing this for the whole damn stream. It's just waiting for this to load just so I can use the damn material editor. God, that's the thing I hate the most about these headphones, was that every little creak in the plastic in the headphone, like the housing and all that, it all just comes up on the damn microphone. I don't know how much y'all can hear it. Okay. Yep. I'm gonna get that going. Yes, I'm sure you were seconds away from actually working. I'll just do this, because I know it does work. Ideally, I'd like to get this all set up as quickly as possible. Load it into one of the temp cells I have. And then cool. Okay. Glad we could help. Now, will you please load? I swear if this ends up taking like a ridiculously long amount of time again. It's supposed to do it like damn near instantly. I don't know why it's not. I can only venture to guess because I am streaming on OBS. Oh, yeah, what do you know? There we go. Okay. So let's come down here. I think, no it doesn't, okay. Yeah, technically Star Stations has its own thing, but I'm gonna keep most of the stuff that has to do with anything space related all in the ships section. What is... okay, that's for decals. Okay, so I'll keep that there instead of this. This is... I think it's all for like, yeah, I didn't end up actually using this for anything. I might, but I doubt it. Just the one I have now is so much nicer. So let's make a new directory under here. We'll call it Satellite 01. New material. And we'll do a standard one layer. We'll call it UNSC Sat 01. this on. Come down here. Let's say it's... Okay, that's where it is, yeah. There we go. There's that. That's not right. So let's make sure that's... Satellite, yeah, space beacon. It's only those two. I don't know. I might have to... do something else. Could always use a different... this would be funny. Yeah, that doesn't actually work. I don't know why. Maybe it's that one that might do it? No. I forget there's a way to... Maybe if I just change this to like a completely gray color. Something like this, maybe. forget how the hell to do it. That's definitely not how. Does that change anything? No. What about you? No. Okay, well, we're gonna see if this does it. Well, let's see. Let's see if that does anything. We'll save that, see if it works, but I do not have high hopes. So we're gonna go ahead and let's see. Should be something like right there. And now we'll see it in all of its pink glory. Yeah. Do that real quick and so it sanitizes. Yeah. Well, that's the right texture. It's just not the right color for some weird ass reason. Not sure what's causing that. Maybe I need to layer the texture differently. Or like edit how the texture looks in like GIMP or something else. I don't know. But that's clearly scuffed. But we don't need to do any of that in order to do most of the texture work for we'll start with the right one. Da 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 dee doo dee doo. Alright, there you go. So this should work just fine with we'll say this one. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let me fix my stuff over here real quick. Yeah, so I have to fix those for sure. And obviously we want this to look like... Let me just make my computer cry. We want it to look like that. The only thing I think we'll need to make textures for are these bits right here. And then these, I think, don't have a material set up for them. But, make sure it's the right thing. Yeah. These should... Nope. No, they shouldn't, apparently, because it uses a different texture. Because of course it does. Well, that's fantastic. So I do actually need to extract those, and I thought I didn't. No matter. That takes no time at all. We'll open up Asset Watcher, bring that over here, go into Shading, click on U, click that, save as, input textures, and we'll put color. And then I'm looking for success. Alright. Okay, real quick, what are these called? Yeah, okay, so girder tough. So I was right, okay. And then these are frigate details. I don't know what the alpha is gonna be. No clue. Let me make sure. This doesn't have any sort of... Because this is what it's supposed to look like, right? And it did not look like that. So... The normals also came out really scuffed, which is weird. It should be RGBA. Let's try that. See what that outputs us. Don't save. Let's open up the texture outputs. Okay, yeah, that's freaking out somehow. Not sure what that's about. as I'm over here holding on to keys like a genius. Don't worry, guys, I'm a professional. Yes, oh breaker of headphone wires, what can I do with you? Do I like the old or the new UNSC logo? The old one for sure. I'm not a fan of the... You might actually be able to see it on here somewhere. Yeah, this one. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. This one. This is just probably me being biased, as this one resembles more like the United States Marine Corps kind of logo. Like, it's very reminiscent of that kind of stuff. But like the Colonial Marines from Aliens, which obviously inspired Halo, the UNSC takes a lot of inspiration from the United States military in terms of like structure and branches and I mean just generally like overall influence. Artemis, go lay down on your bed. Stop walking all across my desk. Yeah, you know, I've never thought about it looking Mayan, but now that you say it, like especially this kind of stuff, yeah, a little bit. I can see that for sure. But this, I don't know. It's just part of that era of when 343 was trying to make Halo look way too hard sci-fi instead of like the more grittier, grounded, like bridge between like the futuristic stuff and like brutalist, like military kind of like modern-ish scope of sci-fi stuff. Let me one sec here. I'm looking for space beacon color. Okay, so that's the new one. And let's go over here to textures, UNSC. No, not UNSC. Halo, UNSC. Satellite. Place the file in that destination. And now let's see how that looks. Unfortunately, I think that means we're gonna have to restart the creation kit. Yay! Everyone clap. Why aren't you clapping? This is such a momentous occasion. We should all be joyous over this. Oh, I also need the new UNSC decal textures. So hold on, let me go back. Textures output, data, texture. I guess it would be UNSC decals for large structures. Go to input and see what it's called, because I can see it in input, I just can't see it in the data output. Yeah, okay. Large structures, decals large structures instead of decals ship decals. Okay. Data, textures. Yeah, okay, ship decals and then decals large structures. So we want to copy those. Come over here to bada bing, bada sanitize, whatever. Close that out just so I don't have it. Would be cool to let us select logo and names on ships. Listen, I would love to set that up. Unfortunately, that would require me making physical pieces, or like plates or something like that, that you would place on portions of your ship. And for the time being, at least, this is not really something I'm gonna do. But I was talking with somebody about a possible avenue or way around, like, naming your ship whatever, and having like a set space for decal stuff, for like names and stuff like that. And I don't know. It's something I'm gonna have to look more into. I'd love for it to be that way. That way you can slap whatever logo on whatever. Uh, you know, it's your immersion. You can ruin it at your own peril. If you want to put something silly on there, be my guest. But okay, material editor. Over down here to see decal. No, it's satellite 01. No, yeah, it still looks the same. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to fix that, because that's not supposed to be doing that. I don't know why that's also absolutely fucked. I'll have to fix that, so that's fun. We'll come over here to decals and make a new one. New material. I think I made the first one a decal layer. Standard decal 1 layer. We'll call this one UNSC decals 02. UNSC decals 02. Okay, and again, I'm seeing an issue where it's not actually here. So what the hell's going on? Let's just pull up one of these, and then okay, it's being weird now. Yeah, what the hell? I feel like I'm missing a step, guys. I don't remember what it is, so I'll have to fix that later, off screen, sadly. For the time being, let's go ahead and get most of this stuff the way there. I don't want to mess with the UV mapping for the texture on here, I could do that and just put this logo here where that's supposed to be and use some lettering to put right there and all that stuff, but I really don't want to do that and have it look super scuffed when I get the actual correct texture stuff on there. So we're just going to put these on there even though they don't look right. I know, I'm sorry. The frigate actually, hold on. The frigate stuff might look fine. If I make the material for the frigate assets, so that I can put like the escape pods and all that stuff on there. That should turn out fine. I don't know completely, but I still don't know how I'm gonna do the alpha for that stuff. How I would even set that up in the material editor. I'll have to talk to somebody else who's more knowledgeable about that stuff. Not that he'll see this, but Sir Wethington, prepare to receive my stupid texts of confusion. Sir Wetherington? Sir Wetherton? Whatever it is, I can't remember. Yeah, I mean, the end goal, though, is for you to get to name your own ship, obviously. How I'll actually be able to go about doing that, because I can't just put, like, there's nothing for, like, decal or texture stuff, at least that I know of. You know, I'll ask around some other modders to see if there's a way that you might be able to do something like that, but as far as I know, there isn't, without making an actual physical object to attach to your ship, which means I'll have to also make attachment points on the ship just for those things, and for the logo and whatever, and that's just a lot. I hate to sound like you know, a lazy good-for-nothing, but UNSC. Honestly, I should put this under its own thing, but I'm just gonna put it. I'll do like a MISC category sort of a thing. No, that's a material. I don't want that. New directory. Let's see. I'll just put MISC. One layer, I don't know, we'll say frigate sheet. That might be more apropos. Okay, so for this one, yeah, see, no, again, it's doing this weird fucking thing where it's not showing up how it's supposed to show up, and I don't know what's causing this right now, but it's actually pissing me off, so that's fun. No, I'm not gonna save that. Well, so far this has been a fantastic stream. What do you guys think? I can't make textures and everything looks weird. super awesome. Again, we're just gonna slap these on there. We need like a nice white material. Where would I find that? Like a white gray metal kind of a. I mean, we could always look for it, so let's try gray. Fuck, I don't know. I don't think this is what I'm gonna be looking for. It's not terrible. That's pretty close, actually. Yeah, that's not terribly far off. I need something that has more like this kind of like gradient to it, but that's pretty close. Same with you. You get the gray. You are gonna get the classic standard gabagool. Yep, that's what I'm putting on there for now. Same with you. Because I'm not doing too much in depth with this right now. You've got that same dark gray. You're just like a flat kind of. Solid, that's dark gray. Dark solid gray metal. What does that look like? I feel like this is gonna be too dark. Oh, no, that's not bad. That's actually pretty decent. Yeah, it didn't look too bad. What about you? What are you? Same kind of spiel? Alright. Yeah, these are, like, all this stuff is just placeholder stuff until I can figure out what's actually going on with my textures and fix it, hopefully. Now, is there a great sort of thing? It's great. I'm pretty sure there is, but I can't think of it. I think that's how it's spelled. No. How does that look? Nope, that's terrible. progress on the weapons? No, not yet. I haven't touched the weapon stuff. I've been too busy working on the ship things and, you know, the space station stuff. Trying to get that all set up and going. And like toying around with some NPC stuff. Trying to figure out how I'm gonna actually add in all these different races and all that, because we don't have a way to make new skeletal structures like for animations or anything. So unfortunately, what about that? Still not great. Don't leave. But I don't know. I might take a break from the ship stuff and the space stuff and work on. Oh, I already tried that, didn't I? Yep. Work on some weapon stuff. Shit, it's already been an hour. Yep. Well, I thought I'd have all this stuff in the damn game by now. No, that's terrible. No, that didn't look good. Oh, it's not the best thing ever, but I don't hate it. This is going to yield me too many results, but we're going to go ahead and... What does that look like? You know what? Whatever. That's going to have to do for now. You get something that is white. What does that look like? Fuck it. We ball. Alright. I don't know what you're supposed to be. I assume some sort of light. But I don't know. You are going to be that. What are you? Maybe that weird interior, like, paneling and all that. I actually think I do have, or rather that I know of, material that would work with that. Remember seeing the Pillar of Autumn mod on Creations? Said I'll download it tomorrow, then it was gone. Oh well. Yeah. I'd uploaded it to Creations because I'd uploaded it to Nexus, but it wasn't working correctly and there was a lot of issues with it, and so I had to take it down because all the feedback that I was getting from people that had it on Creation said it just wasn't working. And so for now it's on Nexus because I had to compile it in a way where I couldn't upload it to Creations, and it's still a little buggy. And I would like to eventually fix that, just for its own like standalone thing. but I was initially doing like a whole rework of the interior for the Pillar of Autumn, and was gonna use like all that interior space and stuff from Combat Evolved Anniversary. However, that was before the new remake got announced for Campaign Evolved, which is supposed to come out later this year. And when that comes out, we're gonna get nice new shiny models and geometry and textures and all that stuff for all those spaces, and I would like to use those instead of the severely outdated ones from Combat Evolved Anniversary. And it's unlikely that we'll get an entire new layout of the Pillar of Autumn, where the inside actually fits the outside. But, it all remains to be seen. Yeah, if you really want to mess around with it, it is on Nexus. If you're on PC, if you're not on PC, nothing's on Xbox right now. Honestly, this ship mod, uh, this is probably going to be the first thing that's going to hit Xbox, just because I've learned a lot since working on the Pillar of Autumn, and I've already gone through and started optimizing a lot of this stuff to work better on Xbox. Because if you build it to work well on Xbox, it's going to work well on PC, obviously. So let's see. Let's try. No, not paneling. Let's do like. I feel like the industrial stuff is really what's going to hit better. If only I knew what I was looking for and could see the actual textures. I know there's a way to look at all that stuff. I'm pretty sure it's in the creation kit, but I can't think of it right now. I need like some sort of like paneling or decals or something that's like just. Wouldn't this be funny if that was it? No, it's not. Son of a bitch! I don't even know what that is. No clue. Well, I thought I would be able to get one of these damn things in game within an hour, and you know what? That's on me. No, it's not going to be in mat swaps or anything like that. Let's try. No, that's solar panel. Let's try panel though. See what comes up. Nothing cloth. Or solar panels, no. No, but actually that looks a whole lot nicer than what I got going on over here. Let's... Yeah, I like that a lot more. No, nothing like that. Okay, I don't think the decals is actually gonna work. No, same thing. Oh, it's decals right there. Didn't even see it, I'm blind. That's not terrible. Honestly, it's better than what we had before. So I'll just leave that like that. You need to be that gray one. Metal beam's gray. You can get to be decals, even though I'm pretty sure you're supposed to be something else. Yeah, what? Why are you still pink? That's weird. Yeah, whatever. Better that than whatever the hell was going on with it before. You get to be the gray. Metal beam's gray, yeah. Okay, what are you and what color are you? You are gray! Look at that! Oh my god! We're just gonna go in that same vein. There's gray. Yeah, it should, on Nexus, it should show up if you search either Pillar Autumn or Halo or like UNSC. Make sure to include, like, you know, words in the description or things like that. I'm pretty sure you're like gray. Yeah. It's all gray here. Okay. No, that's that color, and I don't want that. Yeah. I want this one. You, on the other hand, get to be that color. what the hell I'm gonna do with these things. Fun fact, these little joints for the arms are actually just the same texture as the missile silos on the Paris-class frigates. They're right there, plain as day. You can see them. It's super funny. In fact, I'm pretty sure I can show you. Don't crash. Yeah. Yep, right there. Isn't that funny? Now, why the hell are you so scuffed? Because I have done nothing to you. And yet here you are, broken. Whatever. So I guess, I don't know, I don't even know. Shot in the dark here? Upsilon. Yeah, that's definitely not what I want. Epsilon, no. The missile knows where it isn't. Let's try something else. Industrial. That's probably not what I want, but that's as close as I'm gonna get. They have like the hazard tape, hazard lines. Hey, that's actually exactly what I want. Or, you know, about as close as I can get. What are you? Oh, you're just like a little light, okay. We'll just choose that white. Decal, or whatever it is, white panel. Pretty much on everything. Even though I'm pretty sure those are supposed to be lights, but I ain't got time. I could have sworn I saw something over here or something. I don't know. Yeah, that part looks scuffed, and right now, until I can fix the decal sheet messing up, it's gonna stay scuffed. So, sorry not sorry. Okay, why are you pink? You are not supposed to be pink. And Jet, you are pink. reminds me, if that looked like that, then maybe I feel like there was something somewhere right here. Is there like something just underneath you? It's causing you to have pink behind you? Any like hidden layers? No. I don't know why it was pink then. That's weird. Well, ignore the text. It looks terrible. I'm well aware. I know how it looks, but for now, that's just how that's gonna look. I could just cover it in white, and it'll look super weird. Actually, I might just do that for now. No. What's that, nope, not you either. What material does this use? Ceiling panels, okay. Yeah, now it looks arguably worse or better. You know, it depends on how you feel about all that stuff. But we'll save that. Just so that we can say there's something on here. We'll go ahead and... Oh no, what was the... I think it was in space stations. I'm confused. Hold on. Hold the phone. Hold all of the phone. Where? Architecture, space station. Okay. This isn't gonna look great. I'm telling you right now. But yep, like I said, that's not gonna look great. Looks pretty terrible. Honestly, I think the UNSC ship texture might look better on it. Oh wow, it actually doesn't. It does not look better. We're gonna do gray. And Solid gray. Yeah, there we go. Now for this, I know... What does this look like? Oh, no, no. Not bad, not terrible. Is this just the same texture? Yeah, it is. What about that one? Oh, what the fuck? No, that's pretty bad too. I might have better luck with like a glass or something. Let's finish out this. What does that look like? Oh, actually, yeah, I don't hate that. That looks pretty good actually. Okay, I mean, other than this part. This part looks terrible, but you know what? We're gonna ignore. We're gonna ignore the fact that that looks terrible for now, until I can get the textures working. Which also means, let's see if I can even find it on here. I'll do the left one probably later on. I'm trying to get this. There's these frigate construction chunks, which, yeah, look like that. This one's pretty straightforward. I already know what I'm doing with this. I'm gonna come here, here, and use that. Same with this. Same with this. And with that. And with you. Now, yeah, okay, same with here. And right there. Oh, actually, why don't we just use... Nope, son of a bitch. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. of gives it like that under construction kind of look. Let's see here. No, I don't want to use that. I want to use like a different... Nope, not that. That's not terrible. Yeah, that's pretty stomachable. How does that look with the tech panel stuff on it? Kind of worse, but I think that's also, I don't know. Like the whole point is that it's under construction, but I don't know. I like the black on that better. What's that attached to? Yeah, let's change that to the trim. Yeah, there we go. Same with that. Yeah, that looks a lot nicer there. Sanitize. I think that might be it for the new stuff. Oh, the wing debris. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm being real lazy with this one. Later down the line, what the hell? Later down the line, I'm gonna make this like all separated out. I tried to do that before and I exported it all wrong, so I'll have to redo all that. Make sure there's no pink anywhere. I don't see anything. There we go. Saved. I like the engine on that frigate. Yeah. You mean like the actual engine on the actual design? Yeah, no, it looks good when it looks good, but like there's a huge difference between this looking super fucked and this actually looking decent. Although this has slightly different engines. This uses some newer assets. This is a model compiled by KRP1138. The texture work is all me. Yeah, like right here, you know, it's got all this stuff on here, but I have to do this manually, and I would have to, like, edit all this manually per each thing, and then upload it as a brand new ship or a brand new object. Whereas if I get, like, paneling for the whole alphabet, and like some special characters, numbers, and then the decal, you know, like, and then make it its own object that you slap on the frigate. That might work, I don't know. That's just a lot of extra, like, out of the way kind of work for something that may or may not actually end up working out. I don't know, we'll see. I think that's everything for this stuff. Yeah, I don't have... I've got a lot of work on Gamma Station done, but it's not ready yet. I'm trying to add in like some extra detail bits. It's separated out fairly decently, which will actually help with the detail leveling. I want to smooth some bits of this out more. Right now I'm going through and I'm adding in like window sections to some of these structures, which are those already on there. And my addition of buildings over here in this incomplete section, or the section that was like had the destroyed bits on it. I'm not really fond of what I came up with over here for the most part. Like this one's fine. This I might want to change. This part I don't mind so much. That kind of matches some aesthetics of things over here, but I don't know. Just these two buildings right here, I feel like they aren't fitting super well. I might try to like get rid of this bit and flatten this out. Maybe add some asymmetry to it. May end up doing that, and then we'll get it in game, testing, see how it looks. It's at the correct scale right here, right now. So it's about 3,000 meters in diameter. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anywho, let's plug in some of this stuff, lickety splat, load up the game, see how it works, and then that's going to be the end of the stream. This one's a little bit longer than I usually go on for, and I thought I'd be able to get all this stuff done in an hour, but the textures decided to not work, and the CKs decided to play touch and go with loading. And I don't know what's causing that. I might need to switch my graphics settings on my computer again. Reminds me of Ticonderoga Station, Starship Troopers. Ticonderoga Station. I don't remember the name of it, but I've seen Starship Troopers. I just don't remember what the space station looks like. But I wouldn't be surprised, you know, Halo. I don't know if there's any like direct correlation, but like they're all like aliens, Starship Troopers. A lot of those things are pretty intertwined with each other in terms of like what influenced what. And technically, Starship Troopers came out way before any of this stuff. The book for Starship Troopers, which I think maybe has a different name, I can't remember, was written I think all the way back in the 1950s. And was like a pretty like revolutionary sci-fi kind of or military sci-fi kind of concept. Okay, so let's load up the ship stuff. I was also going to try and get bits of the interior space station in tonight and work on the Anchor 9 stuff. But probably going to have to save that for next week. I'll work on that some more this week because some of those parts are going to take a while. And my fiance and I are trying to get our sleep schedule sort of on some kind of track, make some sense. Speaking of which, I think she might be passed out. Wish the UNSC had more advanced weapons for sci-fi. I mean, I don't know. They've got some fairly advanced stuff, like in terms of, the stanchion rifle is pretty advanced for railgun tech. Mac guns are fairly advanced. Their laser tech is pretty good, but I was never a fan of Halo moving more into hard sci-fi. Like I liked the grittier, more, you know, Starship Troopers, Aliens, that kind of stuff, where it was more like closer to, modern military stuff, but a little bit more advanced. The guns in the Halo universe are a little bit more advanced than the guns that we have currently, that kind of stuff. But okay. Now let's load. Oh, well, I have to make them first, so let's. Yeah, let's just copy this over. There's two things for set dressing. What the hell? That's weird. Junk. Yeah, let's need to make a new pack in. More experimental gun combos with Covenant and Forerunner. I dig the Hardlight stuff. I mean, you know. You mean like for weapons? Like the Forerunner weapons and that kind of stuff? They're cool. Like the designs of the Forerunner weapons, with few exceptions, were really cool. Really interesting stuff, like how the weapons kind of created themselves in front of you. Some of that stuff was really cool. Gameplay-wise, they were kind of just mostly mid, except for that big cannon and a couple other things. The pistol was pretty bad. I think it's called the suppressor, that like weird SMG gun, that was pretty bad. The big sniper rifle one was pretty good, and it was OP because you could like essentially one-shot anyone from across the map, but the fact that when you zoomed in, it showed like a giant laser as to wherever you were pointing. Like that was like a fairly decent, at least an attempt to try and balance that weapon out. And then the shotgun was just kind of meh. It was pretty. I wasn't a big fan of that either. And that main rifle where it like swapped between like a DMR and a BR firing mode kind of stuff. That was cool. But I mean, yeah, for the more sci-fi-esque weapons, you just have like the Covenant stuff. They're a more advanced. Like that's the hard sci-fi aspect of Halo, is in the other stuff. The UNSC is the more grounded, more familiar kind of stuff that we're used to today. So it's a little more, you know, agreeable. What? That's agreeabling? That's AC vent? No. I want. What's like the space junk? Is there anything for like space? I need like. You guys can't see what I'm doing because I'm over here looking for stuff. Let me drag this menu over here so it doesn't just look like I'm on a blank screen forever. I'm over here looking for like the space debris and stuff like that. I feel like it should be in set dressing, maybe. Or maybe it's not even in the pack-ins, I don't know. Space junk? Oh, okay, space junk. Let's see what this looks like. Preview. This might be what I'm looking for. Okay. Yeah, that kind of works. See, now I'm lost. This one? No. Yes. I don't know. Okay, yeah, so that was... So it's gonna be this one then. to go from the stuff that they had to completely different arsenals, I think doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You know, I think they could improve on like their laser tech, or some plasma-based weaponry, maybe, or better shielding and stuff like that. But to go from all of the arsenal they had to something completely different, I don't think would make a whole lot of sense. Like if they went from traditional human weapons to straight up Forerunner type weaponry, I feel like it would lose a lot of the charm of what we know of as the UNSC, and like the familiarity with Halo's military aspects. Like it's a military sci-fi game. It's not like, it's just not hard sci-fi, or at least it didn't used to be hard sci-fi. And the huge disparage in design structure from how like the Forerunner stuff used to be, with its more brutalist aspect, to how it ended up becoming in Halos 4 and 5, and to a lesser extent, but still prevalent in Halo Infinite. I don't know. It lost a lot of what made it, reminiscent of all the things that used to influence Halo. Like if you go back and look at a lot of the kinds of stuff that was coming out around that time, that had to do with like ancient civilizations and stuff like that, you found a lot of that same kind of like brutalist architecture, and still like there was like that connection between the past and the present. You saw it in Stargate, you saw it in I'm trying to think. I know there's like another big one where it's like ancient stuff reminiscent of modern humanity. My brain's in a huge fog right now, so I'm not operating on all cylinders. But where is the... What's the dependency, though? I don't know how to get to... It says it uses something else. It's called space junk, right? Yeah, okay, I'll type in space junk. Is this what I'm looking for? I mean, there's some of this. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll just copy one of these. have today in terms or in terms of military? I think you meant to say in terms of military hardware. We should have one Halo smart weapon. I don't know what that means. If you're talking about like something like the smart pistol from Titanfall, or like a gun that like has an ammo counter, I think we have stuff like that. Not the lock-on thing. Well, actually, I do think we have guns that like lock on to stuff. I don't know about bullets that lock on to stuff. I think we might have something like that. We have some pretty advanced like snipers, special rounds for certain guns, like some really advanced stuff. But as you know, as for something that like locks on, like the bullet locks on, I don't think we have anything like that. But I don't know what you mean. Okay, let's see. this a little funky. And I'll just leave the arms alone, no collision right now. We'll go ahead and do the satellite beacon too, honestly. Just so we can get a sense of scale. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what can I say other than the design of Halo's earlier stuff is very much a product of its time, and also, you know, there's just certain design aesthetics. When you start looking for levels of realism, like realism in games, you know, you kind of start to get down a rabbit hole that there's no getting out of. Save. I mean, you know, how much railgun tech and, you know, Gauss tech and all that kind of stuff does Halo, you know, it's rampant with. But when we look at the real world applications of it now, I mean, we experimented with that stuff, but then we quickly abandoned it for one reason or another. And, you know, now it's just kind of, let's see. Space travel. Okay. Space out. Showcase test. And the reason, I would say now that I'm thinking about it, the reason why the weapons don't have like motion tracking or do that? And why would I waste time, resources, money, all that to put that stuff in a gun when I can put it in the headset or the helmet or what have you, and there's no, like, you know, you don't need to bring up your weapon in order to utilize that stuff, you don't have to do any of that, you know, like, if you want your scope to do motion tracking, there's like a link with the visor that does that stuff. I'm pretty sure in universe for that stuff. I could be wrong. I don't know for sure. But let's go ahead and drop some of this shit in here. First things first. Okay, well, that's not what I wanted to do, is it? Why can't I move you? There we go. Jesus. It's a fairly big satellite. Like, it looks tiny compared to these ships, but when you think about how big these ships are, this is a pretty big damn satellite. Okay, and then where is my space truck for my... Did I not make one for the... no, I did. Dude, am I tripping? Oh no, there it is. I didn't rename it. Yep, I'm so smart. See, space junk. Try dock right. There we go. This might not work, and I might have to make a separate pack-in with both of these things combined. You know, good to test. exit as soon as it's done. I'll turn on my desktop audio. Trying to wrap this up here in the next 6 minutes, so let's... I want to say this is the right save to load. We'll find out. It doesn't seem to like that I have clicked that yes, this is the save that I want to load. Yep, no. It's... oh, okay. Apparently brute forcing it worked. Alright, okay. Now let's head off into space and see how things are looking. So far, so good. And of course, we're in the shadow of the planet, so I can't see shit. Okay, and our space station test and some other shit should be right over here somewhere. There it is. Yeah, the beacon doesn't have a marker because I didn't make it an object with a marker. But yeah, so far no issues. Nice, nice. What happens if I run into it? Alright, okay, okay. Nice. Doesn't look half bad for something I've, you know, jerry-rigged together. Pretty good. Let me tell ya, we are currently working on some really interesting new concepts for... oh, there comes the sun. For some new, like, you know, dry dock stuff, like ship construction, stuff like this. I got someone new who's come on board, and they have a lot of really interesting concepts. We're working on building some 3D stuff out right now. I'll tell you, man, some exciting stuff is coming. But that's not too bad. Looks pretty good. You know, I'll try and populate some stuff out. I'll clean up a lot of the extra stuff on here. Make the space make a little bit more sense. Yeah. It's 8:59, and that's gonna be it for me for now, folks. Hope you have enjoyed this stream, even though it's been kind of a mess in the start there. But yeah. If you're not already a member of the Discord, go check that out. You know, there's updates there pretty frequently, all the time. And you'll get more info about future plans and stuff like that. I'm on there pretty much all the time. And I'll see you guys next Wednesday. I'm probably not gonna do a game stream tonight. Like I said, I'm pretty exhausted, and I initially had planned to do all that, but that's a whole other topic. So anyway, if you guys aren't already, please consider subscribing to this channel. Check out the Discord. If you'd like to support me and what I'm doing here, you can go check me out over on Patreon. My link should be in the description or in my bio. For anyone interested, I am setting up a secondary channel that's just for like my gaming content, and that's over on Forwarders Raven Gaming. I only have one video on there right now. I'll be uploading some more this week. That's where I'll upload like my VODs from Twitch, and then I'll probably do some more like edited content on there as well, like cut up videos and stuff like that. I'm also working on a shorter form actual video where I'll feature like the ships and more stuff that's updated once I have that more rounded out. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to check out all my other stuff. And that'll be it. See you guys later.